Let's go to problem number. Classes continue answering our exercises for partnership liquidation. Let's go to problem number 19. Okay. Problem number 19 class. Let's take a look at the requirement. Compute for the cash payments to the partners for January and Feb. So 2 months using save payment schedule and cash priority program. Okay. So papakita ko sa inyo class kung yung difference ng dalawa na yan. Pero basically yung ginawa natin before, ang tawag natin doon, save payment schedule. Okay? So, we're in there, yung maximum possible loss, save payment schedule yun. Yung cash priority program, ang ibang tawag dyan class is cash distribution program. Okay? So, magkamukha lang ibig sabihin nun. Now, ipakita ko side by side kung paano natin gagawin yan. First, analyze muna natin yung problem. On January 1, 2021, the partners of ABC partnership decided to liquidate their partnership. The following information were made available. Cash, 20. AR, 60. Inventory, 120. Equipment, 300. Add natin lahat ng non-cash assets. 60 AR plus 120 inventory plus 300 equipment, you get 480. So, lagay mo dyan, total non-cash assets, 480,000. Accounts payable, 30. Payable to B, 20. A capital, B capital, C capital. Yung payable to B, add mo na yun sa B capital. So, 150 plus 20, si B has a capital of 170,000. Alright? The partnership will be liquidated on an installment basis. Distributions to owners will be made as cash becomes available. The following transactions occurred in January 2021. 75% of the AR was collected for only 30,000. Okay? So, ibig sabihin class, gawin natin dyan is, ayan, dito muna tayo. Muna tayo sa save payment schedule. Save payments schedule. Ayan. Okay. So, ang gawin natin dito class, tignan muna natin kung how much yung proceeds natin from the, actually, ang gawin natin dito, compute natin yung loss per item. Okay? 75% of the AR was collected for only 30,000. Plus, how much yung 75% ng AR? Tama ba? 60,000 times 75%. Okay? Nakita nyo yung, nakuha nyo yung 45,000. Na-collect lang natin yung 30 para dun sa AR. Tama ba? May 15,000 loss tayo. So, for AR, meron tayong 15,000 loss. Tama? For A, let's go to B. Half of the inventory was sold for 40. Yung inventory natin, 120. Half niyan is 60,000. Nabenta mo lang for 40. Tama ba? May loss tayo na 20,000 per inventory. Okay. And then, equipment with carrying amount was sold for 120. So, for the equipment, meron tayong 80,000 loss. Okay? So, if we add everything, 15,000 plus 20 plus 80, we have 115,000 actual loss. Alright? Actual loss. And then, meron tayong for letter D, liquidation expenses were paid. Estimated future liquidation expenses, magkaiba yung class. Yung 2,000 na yan is actual. Yung isa naman na 1,000 estimated. Okay? Yung letter E, 9,000 cash was retained. Iyon yung cash withheld. Gagamitin natin yan dun sa maximum possible loss. Okay, so ito na yung loss natin, 115,000. Yung next na gagawin natin dyan, class, 2 months yan, di ba? Doon muna tayo sa January. So January, we have partners A, B, and C. Lagay natin yung P&L ratio nila para di natin makalimutan, 20%, 30%, and 50%. Okay, let's put the capital balances. Partner A has 100,000. Okay, ito yung capital. Partner B has 170, and partner C has 200,000. Okay? Allocate natin. Actually, class, meron din tayong liquidation expenses, tama? So, na 2,000. Yung actual liquidation. So, ang gawin natin, class, add natin yan, 117,000. So, tawagin na natin siyang actual loss and liquidation expenses. Ang total is 117,000. So, 117, allocate natin to the 3 partners. 117 times 0.2, you have 23,400. Okay, 23,400. And then, for B, 117,000 times 0.3, you have 35,100. And then for C, 117,000 times 50%, you have 58,500. Alright, 58,500. And then, take note, ito yung actual liquidation expenses and actual losses. Kailangan i-consider din natin yung maximum possible loss. So again, pag sa mong save payment schedule, kung ano ginawa natin before, yun lang siya. So class, ano yung composition of maximum possible loss natin? Well, meron tayong estimated liquidation expenses dyan. Nakita mo sa letter D, it's 1,000. Okay? So estimated liquidation expenses, 1,000. And then sa letter E, meron tayong cash withheld. Cash withheld amounting to 9,000. And then don't forget yung remaining book value of non-cash assets. So paano natin makakompute ng class? Yung remaining non-cash assets, take note, yung total natin is 480,000, yung non-cash assets. Tama? Yung tinotal natin earlier. And then yung, balik tayo sa letter A, 75% of AR, which is 60,000 times 75%. So nabawas natin yung AR na 45,000. Okay, nabenta, na-collect natin yan. Yung inventory, half naman yung nabenta, so that is 60,000. And then yung equipment, nabenta natin yung carrying amount is 200,000. Tama? So, ibig sabihin class, 480 minus 45 minus 60 minus 200, you have 175,000. Ang tawag natin sa 175,000 is the remaining book value of non-cash assets. So pupunta siya dito sa maximum possible loss natin. Okay? Worst case scenario, meron tayong liquidation expenses in the future na 1,000, may babayaran tayong liabilities in the future, 9,000, and then worst case scenario, hindi na natin mabibenta yung remaining non-cash assets. 1,000 plus 9,000 plus 175, that is 185,000. Maximum possible loss natin, 185. Let's distribute this to the partners. Okay, 185,000 times 20%, you have 37,000. 185,000 times 30%, you have 55,500, and then you have 185,000 times 50%, you have 92,500. Okay, 92,500. For the month of January, partner A receives 100,000 minus 23,400 minus 37,000. Partner A receives 39,600. Okay. Partner B receives 170 minus 35,100 minus 55,500, 79,400. And then partner C receives 200,000 minus 58,500 minus 92,500, 49,000. Ito yung first installment to the partners. Ayan. Yung sagot mo for the month of January. Okay, let's go sa month of Feb. Sulat ulit natin. Partner A, partner B, partner C. 20%, 30%, and 50%. Okay. Compute muna natin, class, yung adjusted balances of the partners. Sabi ko, class, sa previous problem natin, this one is only hypothetical scenario. Ang makabawas talaga dun sa balances ni partners, yung distribution sa kanila. Okay? Yung actual distribution to the partners, yun yung makabawas sa capital nila. Okay? So, if i-rewrite natin to, class, yung capital balances nila, January, 100, 170, and then 200,000. Tama? Now, yung actual loss, makabawas talaga yan sa balances ni partners. So, lagyan natin actual, okay, which is the month of January, in last month, 23,400, okay, 35,100, and 58,500. Does that make sense? Okay, kinukuha ko lang adjusted balance. Now, ano yung makakabawas, class? Yung maximum possible loss or yung actual distribution? Yung actual distribution, right? So, lagay ko dito, distribution for the month of January, 39,600, alright, 79,400, and 49,000. Okay, let's go to the month of Feb. The following transactions occurred in Feb. 10,000 was collected on the remaining AR, the balance was deemed uncollectible. Okay, so ang gawin natin, compute natin yung gain or loss dito sa Feb naman. Ito yung January, ito yung Feb. Okay? So for the month of Feb, again, 10,000 was collected on AR and the balance was deemed uncollectible. Tama ba, class, yung natitira na lang sa AR natin is, sa January kasi, 75% daw na-collect. So ibig sabihin, 25% na lang yung natitira sa AR natin. So compute natin, 60,000 total AR times 25%, 15,000. Tama? Now, ang na-collect mo lang is 10,000. Sabi dyan sa Feb letter A. 10,000 was collected. So 10,000 out of 15,000, ibig sabihin may loss ka na 5,000. Right? So for letter A, so 5,000 loss sa AR. Okay, letter B. The other half of the inventory was sold for 20. Ano ba yung half of inventory? Tama ba? 60,000 yun? Nabenta mo lang for 20, ibig sabihin, meron kang 40,000 loss for the inventory. Letter C. The remaining items of equipment were sold for 30. Okay, so take note, class, yung total na equipment natin is 300,000. Nung January, dun sa letter C, 200,000 doon nabenta mo na. So, ibig sabihin, 100,000 na lang yung natitirang equipment natin, yung book value. Okay? So, it means, kung nabenta mo for 30, okay, 30,000 minus 100,000, meron tayong 70,000 loss for the equipment. Tama lang? Okay. 70,000 loss. So, ulitin ko, class, ha? Yung total equipment natin sa balance sheet, 300. Nung January, nabenta mo yung 200. So, 100 na natitira. Now, nung Feb, nabenta mo daw for 30. Yung 100, nabenta mo for 30, may 70,000 loss ka. Okay? Okay, so liquidation expenses and previously unrecorded liabilities were paid, so that's 1,000. Liquidation process ended on Feb. Since natapos na siya for the month of Feb, wala ka ng concept ng maximum possible loss. Tapos na yung liquidation. Alright? So ibig sabihin, class, pwede natin ilagay ito. So 5,000, so 45 plus 70, that's 115,000. Tama? So 115. Okay. Total loss, actual loss. And then add na rin natin dyan, class, yung liquidation expense natin from letter D or 10,000 liquidation expenses. Okay, so that is 125,000. So allocate natin, class, yung actual loss and actual liquidation expenses amounting to 125,000 to the three partners. 125,000 times 0.2, you have 25,000. 125,000 times 30% times 0.3, you have 37,500. Okay, 125,000 times 0.5, you have 62,500. So take note, since tapos na yung liquidation process, mas madali yan kasi wala na maximum possible loss. 100,000 minus 23,400 minus 39,600 minus 25,000, you have 12,000 for partner A. Payment of partner A. 170 minus 35,100 minus 79,400 minus 37,500, you have 18,000 payment to partner B. Okay. C, kay C naman, 200,000 minus 58,500 minus 49,000 minus 62,500, Distribution to partner C is 30,000. These are your final answers. This is for the month of January. This is for the month of February. Okay. Safe payment schedule. Ayan. Okay. Master na yung safe payment schedule. Let's go to cash priority program. So, ano ba yung difference ng dalawa na yan? Okay. First off, yung makukuha mo sa safe payment schedule, yun din yung makukuha mo sa cash priority program or cash distribution program. Alright? It's just that may mga instances na hindi mo magagamit to. So later, explain ko yun. May mga instances na ang magagamit mo lang is the cash distribution program. But, if may choice ka between the two, para sa akin, mas madali ito, yung safe payments. Okay? Actually, nung nag-review ako sa board exam, ito lang yung alam ko. Okay? So yung cash priority program, parang nung nag-review ako, hindi ko siya alam. Alright? Pero nakukuha ko pa rin yung sagot. Okay? But anyway, papakita ko pa rin kasi again yung mga questions na hindi mo magagamit to, cash priority program lang. So yeah, so medyo procedural siya. Ito kasi intuitive eh. Tama? Kasi maximum possible loss, at least merong logical siya. Yung cash priority program, medyo procedural siya. Okay? Sige, pakita ko sa inyo class. Una mong gagawin dito, step by step, pakita ko sa inyo. Lagay mo si partner A, 20%. Si partner B, 30%. And then si partner C, 50%. Ilagay mo na agad yung capital balances ni partners. Okay? Ine-net mo na agad yung loans to and from. So for this one, si partner A, meron siyang 100,000. Partner B, 170,000. Partner C naman is 200,000. Alright? So ito yung capital balances. Step number 2 class is, i-divide mo yan sa P&L ratio nila. Divide by 20%, divide by 30%, divide by 50%. So again, procedural siya. So 100,000 divided by 0.2, 500,000. Okay, so that's 500,000. 170,000 divided by 0.3. You have 566, 667, and then 200,000 divided by 0.5. That is 400,000. Okay. So class, ang tawag natin dito is the vulnerability ranking. Okay? Vulnerability ranking. Okay? So what do you mean by vulnerability ranking? So basically class, alamin natin, sino sa kanila yung most prone and least prone sa deficit, sa negative balance. So as you notice, kung sino yung pinakamataas yung amount dyan, yun yung rank 1 natin. Siya yung may highest na. So rank 1, siya yung absolute amount yung basis mo. So number 1, si B, kasi pinakamataas siya. Number 2 si A, number 3 si C. Ang tawag natin kay B, siya yung may highest maximum absorption potential. So what do you mean by that? Siya yung pinakamatagal sa kanila bago maging deficit. Okay? Bago mag-negative balance. Si letter C naman, ang tawag mo sa kanya, siya yung merong lowest maximum absorption potential. Siya yung pinaka-prone to deficit. Got it? Vulnerability ranking yan. So okay, ulitin natin. Capital balances, i-divide mo sa P&L ratio, i-rank mo sila. Absolute amount yung basis mo. Number 1 yung highest, number 2 and number 3. Okay, so once ma-rank mo siya, i-copy-paste mo yung capital balances. Ulitin natin. 100,000, 170, 200. I-eliminate natin si partner C. Okay? Paano mo eliminate si partner C? Mag-multiply tayo ng 400,000 to the 3 partners. 400,000 times 20%, P&L ratio pa rin, that is 80,000. 400,000 times 30%, that's 120. 400,000 times 50%, that's 200,000. Therefore, si partner C, 0 na yung capital balance niya. Partner A has 20. Partner B has 50,000. Okay? So 20, 50, and 0. Now, eliminated na si partner C. Ang next natin na i-eliminate, si partner A. Kasi siya yung 2. 3, 2, 1. Ganun siya. So si partner A. Ano yung i-multiply mo para ma-eliminate yung si partner A? Take note class, since eliminated na si partner C, ang natitira na lang 20% and 30%. Or total of 50%. Ganito gagawin ko dyan class. Ang target ko, ma-eliminate si 20,000. Tama? I-multiply ko yan by, since 20 over 50 si A, i-gross up ko yan. 50 over 20. So 20,000 times 50 divided by 20, I get 50,000. So, kailangan ko mag-multiply ng 50,000 to A and B para ma-eliminate ko si A. So, 50,000 times 2 over 5 or 20 over 50. Again, huwag mo na i-consider analysis C. Times 2 over 5, you have minus 20,000. Okay? 50,000 times 3 over 5, that is 30,000. So, yun yung goal mo. Okay? So, 0 na si A, si B naman, 20,000. Okay, so ganito siya class. Ang pinakamahalaga dito, again, procedural siya. Tandaan mo yung process. Ang pinakamahalaga dito is the interpretation. Ganito class ini-interpret yan. Yung first 20,000 na cash, okay, 100% yan mapupunta kay B. Okay? First 20,000 na cash, pupunta kay B yan 100%. Yung second 50,000, yung multiply mo, second 50,000, maghahati dyan si A and B. Okay? A and B, allocation nila, 20 is to 50. 20 is to 30, sorry. 20 is to 30. Hati sila. 20, 30. Okay? And then yung remaining cash, if may ma-receive pa, okay? A, B, and C using their P&L ratio. 20, 30, and 50. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, unang 20,000, bibigyan natin kay B. Yung second 50, si A and B, 20 is to 50, and then lahat ng remaining cash, i-distribute natin kay A, B, and C, 20, 30, 50. Okay, so paano natin i-apply yan? Ganito gagawin natin dyan, class. Gagawin natin dyan, tignan mo analyze natin yung cash. Okay? Class, how much yung cash balance natin sa beginning of the year? Tama ba 20,000 yan? Alright, so 20,000. Okay. So class, punta ka dun sa January. Siyempre, January muna tayo. How much yung na-receive natin dun sa accounts receivable? Tama ba 30,000? Tama. Ipo-post lang natin yan dito sa ano natin, sa T account natin. Ito siya. So yung nakuha natin ng January, for AR, tama ba? 75% of the AR is collected for 30. I-add natin siya. Okay. Ito yung letter A. And then sa letter B, half of the inventory was sold for 30. Add din na, for 40 pala. Okay, so plus 40, debit yan, syempre. And then, sa letter C, equipment naman, nabenta natin for 120. And then, meron tayong, ano pa nangyari dyan, class? May liquidation expense tayo na binayaran, 2,000, that is letter D. Okay? And take note, class, hindi mo pwedeng i-distribute, hindi mo pwedeng ibigay sa partners yung estimated liquidation expenses na 1,000 and yung cash withheld. Okay? So, ima-minus mo yan. Ilalagay mo sa credit yan. Okay? 1,000. And then sa letter, this is letter D pa rin. Letter E, yung cash withheld natin is 10,000. Sorry, it's 9,000. Alright. So, ito yung nabenta natin. Ito yung binayad mo na liquidation expenses. Ito yung estimated. Ito yung cash withheld. Alright. And take note, class, na meron tayong accounts payable. Babayaran muna natin yan. Alright? So, yung accounts payable natin na 30, bayaran natin siya kasi may priority siya. Okay? Ito yung accounts payable. Now, meron tayong cash na pwedeng i-distribute to the partners amounting to 20,000 plus 30 plus 40 plus 120 minus 2 minus 1 minus 9,000 minus 30,000 168,000. Tama? Yung 168,000, pwede mo siyang i-distribute to the 3 partners sa January. Okay? So, ganito mangyayari dyan, class. Magre-refer tayo dito. So, ang gagawin ko dyan, A, B, and C. Tama? Ang pwede kong i-distribute is 168,000 for the month of January. Alright? Yung 168,000, yung first 20,000, ibibigay ko kay B. Okay? So, yung 20,000, ibigay natin kay B. Lahat yan. Tama? Yung second 50,000, ibibigay natin yan kay A and B. Yung ratio is 20-30. Actually, ito yun. 20,000 kay A, 30,000 kay B. 20,000 kay A, 30,000 kay B. Okay? And then yung remaining cash, hati-hati na yung tatlo na yan. So, how much yung remaining cash? Kung may 168 tayo na pwedeng ibigay, yung minus 20, minus 50, meron tayong balance na 98,000, which we can distribute to partners A and B using their P&L ratio, 20, 30, 50. So, 98,000 times 20%, 19,600. Okay? Kay partner B naman, 98,000 times 30%, 29,400, and then kay partner C, 98,000 times 50%, 49,000. Alright? So, tingnan natin, class, kung how much yung na-receive ni A. 20,000 plus 19,600, that is 39,600. Okay? Kay B naman, 20,000 plus 30 plus 29,400, 79,400. And then kay C is 49,000. Okay? Yan yung sagot na, uy, sir, parang familiar yung 39,600, 79,400, and 49,000. Nasaan yung class? Yun. Di ba? 39,600, 79,400, and 49,000. Sabi ko sa inyo kanina, kung ano makuha mo sa safe payment schedule, yun din yung cash distribution program. Okay? Ano mas madali? Ito. Okay? Kaya ito lang inaral ko sa board exam. Alright? Pero syempre ikaw, dapat aralin mo din to. FYI na lang yan. Okay? Ito kasi mas intuitive eh. Itong isa naman na to, procedural siya. Ito pa lang, medyo baka makalimutan mo. And then, pinakamahalaga yung interpretation. So, tingnan natin class dun sa succeeding month, which is the month of Feb. Okay? Analyze ulit natin yung cash balance natin. Dito natin lagay. Yung cash balance natin for the month of Feb, plus how much na lang yung cash natin after paying, di ba, 168,000 yung total niya. Tama? So, yung 168,000, nabayad na natin sa partners. Tama ba, class, ang matitira sa atin na cash, yung beginning mo ng Feb, is yung estimated liquidation and yung cash withheld. Kasi, tinabi mo lang yan eh. Hindi pa talaga yan nagagastos. Does that make sense? Okay? So, ibig sabihin, 1,000 plus 9,000, yung beginning cash mo is 10,000. Yung 168, hindi na kasi ibabayad mo na yung kay A, B, and C. Alright? So, tingnan natin, class. Let's go to Feb. 10,000 was collected on the remaining AR. Dito yun. Okay? 10,000. Letter B, the other half of the inventory was sold for 20,000 plus 20. And then, the remaining items was sold for 30,000. So, lagay ko dito yan. Letter C, 30. And then, 10,000 liquidation expenses were paid. So, 10,000 dito siya. Ayan. Wala na tayong liabilities kasi nabayaran na natin dito, yung amounts payable. Alright? So, 10, 10, 20, 30, 10. Tingnan natin yung balance natin. So, 10,000 plus 10 plus 20 plus 30 minus 10, you have 60,000. Okay? Yung 60,000, pwede nating i-distribute to the 3 partners. Partner A, partner B, partner C. Plus, tama ba, noong January, naka-receive na yung tatlo. Lahat sila, naka-receive na. Tama? So, ibig sabihin, moving forward, yung allocation na natin, nandito na tayo sa last row. Every time na may excess cash tayo, P&L ratio yung gagamitin natin. Okay, ulitin ko yun, very important. Pag naka-receive na yung partners ng cash, pag lahat sila naka-receive na, yung succeeding cash distributions mo will be based on the P&L ratio, 20, 30, and 50. So in this case, since meron tayong 60,000, lahat yan, P&L ratio na lang. 60,000 times 20%, that is 12,000 for partner A. 60,000 times 30%, that is 18,000 for partner B. 60,000 times 50%, that is 30,000 for partner C. 12, 18, and 30 for partners A, B, and C. Uy, sir, familiar yan ha? 12, 18, 30. Uy, ito siya. 18, 30. Okay, so that's your cash distribution program. That's your safe payment schedule. So, pareho yan, alamin mo ha. Okay. So later kasi, pakita ko sa inyo, may problem na hindi mo pwedeng applyan. Ito lang yung pwede mo i-apply. So yeah, so sagot tayo class ng mga practice tayo, multiple choice naman. Let's go to problem number 20. So mas mabilis na to. We have 4 questions. XY, who share profits and losses, ratio of 3:7, decided to liquidate their partnership. Okay. The partner's capital balance was 300 and 190,000 respectively. Okay. Question 1. If all the partnership's assets and liabilities are realized at their carrying amounts, how much will Y receive from liquidation? Very easy. Okay. So tingnan natin ha. So yeah, so let's go to number 20, question number 1. Okay, so tingnan natin class. Again, pag liquidation, lagay mo lang yung partner's capital balances. Dito si X, dito si Y. Si X meron siyang 300, si Y naman meron siyang 900. P&L ratio nila, itabi mo na agad, 30% or 3 and 7. So class, take note na all partnerships assets daw are realized or settled at their carrying amounts. Ang implication niyan, walang gain or loss. Tama? So wala kaya allocate to the partners. Actually, ang sagot dyan, how much daw yung ma-receive ni Y, ang sagot na natin dyan is 900,000. Ay, ano ba yung 900? 190 pala to. 190,000. Okay, 300 and 190. So answer natin for question number 1 is boy, 190,000. Okay, very easy. Question number 2, the partnership has total liabilities of 200. If all partnership assets are realized for 500. Okay, how much will X receive from the liquidation? Sa liquidation class, very important din yung paggamit mo ng accounting equation. Okay, so maraming questions na dito pala masagot mo na. So we know na assets equal to liabilities plus capital. And then sabi dyan, yung total liability is 200. Tama? If all partnerships assets are realized for 500, alam natin class yung capital, ito siya. 300 kay X, 190 kay Y. Tama ba? 490 yan. Okay? So 490. Tama? Ibig sabihin class, yung assets natin, 690 para maging balance yan. How much mo nabenta? Partnerships assets are realized for 500. Kung nabenta mo for 500, yung 190, o yung 690, ibig sabihin may 190,000 ka na loss. Does that make sense? Okay. So ang gagawin ko dyan, si X and Y, okay? Lalagay ko yung capital balances nila, 300,000, and then 190,000. Allocate ko yung loss na 190. So 190,000 times 30%. Ulit, 190,000 times 0.3. 57,000 for partner X. And then 190,000 times 70%. 133,000 for partner Y. Okay, so let's solve 300,000 minus 57,000. You get 243,000 for partner X. And then for partner Y, 190,000 minus 133, you have 57,000. Answer natin for question number 2. Sino ba yung tanong dyan? Partner X, 243, letter A. Okay? Let's go to question number 3. If after all partnerships assets are realized and all liabilities are settled, the partnership has remaining cash of 120. How much will Y receive from the liquidation? Okay, assets equal to liabilities plus capital. Bayad na daw lahat ng liabilities, so 0 na yan. Ano yung capital balances natin? 300 plus 190, 490. Okay? Yung asset natin dito class, yung cash na lang na 120. Obviously, hindi balance yan. Okay? 490 minus 120, difference is 370,000. Okay? So, ibig sabihin class, yung difference na yan, yung loss from the conversion of non-cash assets. 370,000. We have partner X, we have partner Y. Si partner X may 300,000 capital. Partner Y, 190,000. Let's allocate yung 370,000 loss. Si partner X meron siyang 3:7, yung P&L ratio nila, times 30%. You have 111,000 for partner X. And then kay partner Y, 370 times 0.7, 259,000. Okay? So let's see. Wala natin marker natin. 300 minus 111,000. You have 189,000. And then for partner Y, 190,000. Minus 259,000, you have minus 69,000. Okay? So class, ang tawag dyan kapag negative balance, insolvent yan. Deficit yan, okay? Insolvent yung assumption mo. Ibig sabihin ng insolvent, wala na siyang net personal assets. Got it? Okay. So, since wala na siyang net personal assets, yung amount na yan, i-absorb ni partner X. So, 189 minus 69,000. Tingnan natin. 189 minus 169. Answer dito is 120,000. Okay. How much Y will receive? Actually, si Y yung tanong dito. Si Y will receive 0. Letter D yung sagot. Pero pag si X yung tanong, answer mo is 120,000. So question number 3, dog yung sagot natin dyan. Question number 4, if on the final settlement of the partner's claims, Y received 99, how much did X receive? So ganito gagawin ko dyan. Partner X, partner Y, 30%, 70%, or 3:7. Okay, si partner X may 300,000, si partner Y may 190. The na-receive daw ni partner Y is 99,000. Tama? So, kung na-receive ni partner Y is 99,000, ibig sabihin yung loss allocated to partner Y, 190 minus 99. Tama? So, yung loss is 91. Okay? Yung 91,000 na loss na yan represents 70% of the total loss. Pag dinivide ko by 70% yan, 91 divided by 0.7, makukuha ko dyan is 130,000. Plus, ano yung 130,000? Tama ba ito yung 100% na loss? Got it? Kung yan yung 100%, 130,000 times 30%, yung share ni X sa loss is 39,000. 300,000 minus 39,000, you have 261,000. That's why answer sa question 4, how much did X receive? Letter A, 261,000. Easy. Di ba? Bilis na yan. Mga first few problems lang yung mabagal yung solving natin. Kasi dinadahan-dahan ko. Let's go to number 21. Number 21. Okay, the balance sheet for XYZ partnership is as follows. Figures shown parenthetically reflect agreed P&L percentage. Okay? Meron kang cash, meron kang other assets or the non-cash assets, 180,000. Okay, meron kang liabilities, 50. XYZ, andyan yung P&L ratio nila, 40%, 40%, and 30%. Okay. If the firm, as shown in the balance sheet, is dissolved and liquidated, okay, by selling assets in installments, and if the first sale, the book value of 90 realizes 50 and all cash available after settlement, the partners would receive. Okay, so ganito gagawin ko yung class. Ito shortcut. Okay? So again, pag partnership liquidation, sabi ko kanina, capital balances na ilagay mo dyan para mas mabilis yung computation natin. So lalagay ko dyan, partner X, Y, and Z. Okay? Si partner X, meron siyang 40% P&L, si Y 40%, si Z naman 20%. Wala naman loans to and from, so ibig sabihin yung capital balances nila for partner X, that's 37, partner Y, 65, and then partner Z, 48,000. Alright? Okay, so assets, sabi dyan, by selling assets in installments, and if the first sale of non-cash assets having a book value of 90 realizes 50. So tama ba, class? 90 minus 50, may 40,000 loss ka dyan. Tama? So yung loss natin, 40,000. Meron ka bang estimated liquidation expenses? Wala. Meron ka cash withheld? Wala. So ibig sabihin, yung maximum possible loss mo is the remaining book value. Class, how much yung total na non-cash assets? 180. Nasa problem. Tama? Ang nabenta mo dyan is 90. Okay? So ibig sabihin, ang kulang pa dyan, ang natitira pa, class, is 90,000. Alright? So 90,000 yung maximum possible loss natin. Or, pwede mo i-allocate 130,000. Alright? So allocate natin yung 130,000. So to the three partners, 130,000 times 40%. Okay? You have 52,000 for partner X. Nakuha mo isang allocation na lang. Kasi i-allocate ko isa-isa yan, total ko na lahat ng i-allocate ko. So that is 130,000. And then 130,000 times 40%, that's 52 for partner Y. 130,000 times 20%, that is 26,000 for partner Z. Okay? So tingnan mo, class, yung balances nila, 37,000 minus 52. 15,000 negative for partner X. For partner Y naman, 65,000 minus 52. You have 13,000 for partner Y. And then for partner Z, 48 minus 26, 22,000. Okay? So, ang assumption natin is insolvent. Okay? If the problem is silent, ang assumption, insolvent. Therefore, si Y and Z have to absorb the negative balance of partner X. Paano yan? 15,000 times, ilan yung natitira? 40, 20, or 60. 15,000 times 40 over 60, partner Y absorbs 10,000. 15,000 times 20 over 60, partner Z absorbs 5,000. Okay, so 13 minus 10, 3,000. 22 minus 5 is 17,000. Okay, so partner X receives 0, partner Y receives 3,000, partner Z receives 17,000. Letter dog is the answer for number 21. Take note, class, na may shortcut dito actually sa 130. How much yung nabenta? Yung 90,000 na book value. Di ba yung cash na receive mo doon is 50? Tama? Ngayon, ang i-compare mo yan dun sa total non-cash assets. Doon mo na siya agad i-compare. Instead of comparing sa 90, i-compare mo na dun sa 180. Ayun, edit 130 siya. Tama? Ayun siya. So kasi, class, kaya pwede mo i-compare sa total non-cash assets yan kahit hindi mo na agad nabenta lahat. Kasi ang assumption natin, yung remaining, zero na mabibenta. Got it? O yun, 130, allocate mo, absorb mo yung negative balance, yun yung sagot. Number 22, assume that 3,000 cash is to be withheld. The respective partners would then receive. Okay? So, yung 22 and 23, Related sila sa 21 ha. Okay, so related sa 21 yan. Now, so kung may cash withheld na 3,000, ang gagawin ko lang dyan class, okay lang, i-erase ko na to para shortcut tayo. Okay, shortcut. Huwag natin i-rewrite. Okay. So meron tayong cash withheld na 3,000. Edi allocate mo lang yan to the 3 partners. 3,000 times 40%, that is 1, 2. 3,000 times, yes, this is 1, 2. And then this is 600. Okay, so tingnan natin class. 15,000, add natin yan, magiging 16,2. Okay, this is 11,8 and this is 21,400. 16,2, allocate natin to the 2 partners. 16,2 times 4 over 6. This is 10,8 for partner Y. For partner Z naman, 16,2 times 2 over 6, 5,400. Okay. 11,8 minus 10,8, that is 1,000. 21,4 minus 5,4, that is 16,000. Okay, so partner X receives 0, partner Y 1,000, partner Z 16,000, letter D or dog. Okay, number 23, if each partner properly receives some cash in the distribution after the second sale, if the cash to be distributed amounts to 12,000 from the third sale, and if unsold assets with 8,000 book value remain, ignoring previous questions, the respective partners would receive. Okay, listen very carefully class. Mag-focus ka dun sa first sentence. If each partner properly receive some cash in the distribution after the second sale. Tama ba ibig sabihin nun? After yung second sale, naka-receive na lahat ng partners. Tama lang? Lahat sila may na-receive. Following this, balik tayo sa cash distribution program. Pag naka-receive na lahat ng partners, subsequently, yung allocation or distribution to partners will be based on the P&L ratio. Tama yan? So, ang gagawin ko lang dito, class, sa number 23, ang shortcut ko dyan, since sabi dyan, if the cash to be distributed amounts to 12,000, does that make sense? Yung 12,000 na yan, i-allocate ko pa X, Y, and Z following yung logic natin sa cash distribution program using their P&L ratio. 40%, 40%, and 20%. Do you agree? Agree na lang kayo. So, yan siya. Yun yung ginamit natin na concept. So, 12,000 times 40%, partner X receives 4,800, partner Y receives 4,800, 12,000 times 20%, partner Z receives 2,400. Answer natin dyan is letter A. Okay. Let's go to number 24. Di ba? Mabilis lang. Do you have 2 questions for number 24? Okay lang, erase ko na to. Okay, so erase na natin. Alright, so let's go to number 24. Partners XY have decided to liquidate their business. The following information is available. Okay, meron kang cash and then inventory. Siyempre, inventory, we call it non-cash assets, 200,000. Accounts payable and then XY capital. X and Y share profits and losses 3:2. During the first month of liquidation, half of the inventory is sold for 60 and 60,000 of the payable is paid. During the second month, the rest of the inventory is sold. Okay, cash is distributed at the end of each month and the liquidation is completed at the end of the second month. Using safe payment schedule, how much cash will be distributed to X and Y? Let's go to question number 1. So partner X, partner Y, lagay mo yung capital P&L ratio nila 3:2. So ang gagawin ko lang dito, capital balances nila 120 and then 84 Y. Okay? So, ang gagawin ko dyan, class, isang allocation na lang. Okay? So, binenta ko yung half of the inventory, yung cash na na-receive ko, 160. 60 lang pala, 60. And then, kahit half lang yan, i-compare ko na yan sa 100% na inventory. Kasi, ang assumption ko sa maximum possible loss, hindi ko na mabibenta yung remaining. So, minus 200. Therefore, class, yung loss natin dito is 140,000. Let's allocate the loss, 140,000 to the 2 partners. 140,000 times 3 over 5. 3:2 yan, hindi 7. 3:2. Okay, so 140,000 times 3 over 5, you get 84,000, that's negative. And then partner Y, 140,000 times 2 over 5, that is 56,000. Alright? 120 minus 84, 36,000 for partner X. For partner Y, 80,000 minus 56, that is 24,000. Answer natin, ang tanong dito si X, letter D, 24,000. Question number 2. Assume instead that the remaining inventory was sold for 10 in the second month. What payments will be made to X and Y? Take note, second month to ha. Ito first month, okay? Ito second month. So, ang gagawin ko dyan, kung second month na yan, kailangan malaman ko ano yung updated capital balances. Okay? So, yung 120, lalagay ko dyan. 80,000 lalagay ko dyan. Okay? And then, dapat pala i-allocate ko yung actual loss dito nung first month. Tama? Plus, ito ba yung actual loss, yung 140? Hindi yan yung actual loss. Yung actual loss natin, 60,000 minus, how much yung book value nung binenta natin na inventory? Half of the inventory daw, tama? Ano ba yung half of 200,000? 100. So, ibig sabihin, class, yung actual loss natin is 40,000. Yung actual. Okay? Yung difference nila, yung 100,000, yun yung maximum possible loss. Kaya lang, yung maximum possible loss, alam natin na hindi siya, ano lang yan, hypothetical scenario. Okay? So, yung actual loss na 40, allocate natin yan. Okay? So, 40,000 times 3 over 5, this is 24, and then this is 16,000 for partner Y. Okay, so nag-distribute tayo nung first month. Lagay natin distribution. Siyempre, bawas sa capital balances yan, 36, and then 24,000. Got it? Okay. Now, let's compute yung actual loss sa second month. Sabi dyan, yung remaining inventory nabenta for 10,000. How much yung remaining inventory? Kung nabenta mo is 100, 200 yung total, may 100 na natitira. Tama? Yung 100 nabenta mo for 10,000, ibig sabihin may actual loss ko na 90,000 for the second month. Okay? 90,000 actual loss, 90,000 times 3 over 5, you have 54,000. Okay? For partner X. 90,000 times 2 over 5, you have 36,000 for partner Y. Okay, so let's compute their balances. 120 minus 24 minus 36 minus 54. For partner X, that is 6,000. Okay, and then for partner Y naman, tingnan natin, 80 minus 16 minus 24 minus 36, you have 4,000. Tama? Okay, so 6,000 and 4,000, sino ba yung tanong dito? What amounts will be paid to X and Y? Letter D. Letter D, okay, 6,000 and 4,000. So dog yung sagot natin. Let's go to number 25. Okay, number 25, tingnan natin. A balance sheet for the partnership of X, Y, and Z who share P&L ratio of 2:1:1. Alright? Shows the following balances before liquidation. Okay, so meron kang cash and then may other assets or non-cash assets, 59,500. You have liabilities and XYZ capital. Alright, so on the first installment of the liquidation, certain assets are sold for 32. Liquidation expenses of 1 are paid, and additional expenses are anticipated. Liabilities are paid amounting to 5,400, and sufficient cash is to retain to ensure that payment to creditors before making the payment to the partners. On the first payment to partners, X receives 6,250. Diba? Kakaiba. So, dun sa second paragraph, doon ka mag-focus class, on the first installment of the liquidation, certain assets are sold. Hindi sinabi kung ano yung book value nung binenta natin ng assets. Right? And then sa last sentence, sinabi dyan na si X naka-receive ng 6,250. Okay? So for me, mahirap gamitin yung safe payment schedule for number 25. Baka possible, kaya lang mas mahirap siya gamitin. Kapag ganyang class, pwede mong gamitin yung cash distribution program natin. So gagawin ko dyan ganito. Okay? So listen very carefully. Gagawin ko dyan. Procedural tayo. Again, si partners X, Y, and Z. Lalagay ko yung P&L ratio nila. Lalagay ko sa tabi. Okay? 2:1:1. Tama? 2:1:1. And then, meron bang loans to and from? Parang wala naman. So, 22,000. Partner Y has 15,500. And then, partner Z, 14,000. Okay. So, i-divide natin sa P&L ratio. Tama? Kaya lang, hindi naka-percentage. Pero alam natin, si X, ilan siya? 50% to, tama? So, 50%. Okay. 25% and 25%. So, divide natin by 50%. Okay. Divide by 25%. Divide by 25%. 22,000. Divide by 0.5. 44,000. Okay, 15,500 divided by 25%, 62,000. And then 14,000 divided by 25%, 56,000. Okay? So again, vulnerability ranking, i-rank natin siya. Yung pinakamataas, siya yung number 1. Okay, rank 1, rank 2, and rank 3. Pinaka-vulnerable dito si X. Yung least vulnerable si Y. Okay, copy-paste. 22,000, 15,500, and then 14. And then, eliminate natin sa X. Paano natin eliminate sa X? Hindi mag-multiply tayo ng 44,000 to the 3 partners. 44,000 times 50%, 22,000. Okay, 44,000 times 25%, this is 11. This is 11. Okay, 0. 15,500 minus 11, this is 4,500. 14,000 minus 11, this is 3,000. Let's eliminate partner Z. Paano may eliminate si partner Z? Okay, natitira na lang, 25,25. Tama? So, ang gagawin ko dyan, mag-multiply ako ng 6,000 dito. 6,000 times 25 over 25, this is 3,000. This is 3,000. 0, 1,500 kay partner Y. Important dito is the interpretation. First, 1,500 pesos, mapupunta kay partner Y. Yung second, 6,000 pesos, mapupunta kay partners Y and Z. Okay? 25:25. Right? Hati sila. And then yung remaining, hati-hati na si X, Y, and Z. P&L ratio, 50, 25, 25. Okay? So yun yung cash distribution program. Now, sir, para saan yan? Mag-focus ka dun sa last sentence. On the first payment to partners, X receives 6,250. Kaya analyze to class, kailan makaka-receive si X? Dito pa. Sa third row natin. After magbigay ng 1,500 kay Y, after magbigay ng 6,000 to Y and Z, dun lang makaka-receive si X. So, ibig sabihin class, X, Y, and Z, okay? Bigyan muna natin ng 1,500 si partner Y. Tama? Siya yung dito eh. 1,500 muna yan. And then si partners Y and Z, hati sila sa 6,000. Actually, 3,000 kay Y, 3,000 kay Z. Okay? So, lagay natin dito yan. And then we know, nasabi sa problem, si partner X daw, naka-receive siya ng total na 6,250. Ibig sabihin, naka-receive dito sa 6,250 si partner X. Alam nating class na ang P&L ratio nila, 50%, 25%, 25%. So 6,250, pag dinivide mo by 2 yan, naka-receive din dapat ng 3,125 si Y and 3,125 si Z using itong third row natin. Okay? So it means 154Y, 3,000 plus 3,125, yung total na na-receive ni Y is 7,625. Si Z naman, 3,000 plus 3,125, ang total niya na-receive is 6,125. Ang tanong sa problem, total cash payments to the first installment, add natin yung tatlo na yan, 6,250 plus 7,625 plus 6,125, answer is 20,000. Final answer, boy, 20,000. Okay, so yun yung interpretation nito. Very important. Since naka-receive si X, dapat na-receive muna ni Y to and ni Z. Okay? Kung na-receive to ni X, dapat ito yung na-receive ni Z. Kasi P&L ratio yan. Okay? So, ayan. So, feeling ko pwede rin siya masolve ng safe payment schedule. No? Pero, mas madali kung ito yung gamitin mo dyan. Okay? Let's go to number 2. The amount of cash withheld for anticipated liquidation expenses. Kung cash yung tanong sa'yo, pwede ka mag-T account dyan. May beginning balance tayo ng cash, 12,000. Tama? And if you look at the second paragraph, on the first installment, certain assets were sold for 32. Siyempre, mag-i-increase sa cash yan, 32. Liquidation of 1,000 are paid. So, minus natin yan. And then, liabilities are paid 5,400. Okay? And then, nag-distribute tayo ng 20,000 to the partners. Alright? So, ibig sabihin, class, yung remaining cash natin, if meron man, yun yung cash withheld. Okay? Yun yung hindi natin ginastos kasi for future liabilities. 12,000 plus 32 minus 1 minus 5,400 minus 20,000. Answer mo dito is 17,600. Letter dog, 17,600. Okay. Down to the last two problems. Very efficient. Okay? Let's go to additional exercises. Okay, in-upload ko sa Facebook group. Number 2 tayo. Okay? Number 2. Right? So ito na lang para mas madaling i-erase. Let's go to number 2. So tignan natin class. Pag nasundan nyo to, yung last two problems natin, ibig sabihin, master mo na yung installment yung partnership liquidation. Okay. XYZ partnership has the following account balances. We have cash, we have non-cash assets. Loan to Y, receivable from X. Class, pag in-analyze mo yung loan to Y, yung partnership nag-loan kay Y. Tama ba? So, may receivable si partnership from partner Y. Got it? So, later, gagawin natin yung sa capital, ima-minus natin. I-offset natin. Okay? Receivable from X. So, pag receivable from X, ganun din. Nagpa-loan din kay X, ima-minus din natin sa capital. Basta nasa asset side, ima-minus mo sa capital. Pag nasa liability side, i-add mo sa capital. Tignan natin yung liability. Loan from Z. So, si Z, yung nagpa-loan kay partnership. Kaya liability ni partnership yan. Ipa-plus mo yan sa capital of Z. Okay? Now, take note, may revenues dyan and may expenses. Sir, ba't may revenues and expenses dito? So, similar to partnership formation and dissolution, kapag merong net income na given sa atin, revenues and expenses, i-allocate mo sa partners yan. You have to update the capital balances of the partners. Right? Some non-cash assets were sold that resulted to a loss of 46,125. Liquidation expenses of 175 were paid. Additional expenses of 90 were expected to be incurred. Liabilities of 875 were paid. Okay, dami sinabi. Pero ganito lang gagawin natin dyan. Partners X, Y, and Z. Si partner X meron siyang 40%. Partner Y meron 40%. And then partner Z has 20%. So class, tingnan natin. Si partner X, 1,250,000. I-minus mo yung receivable from X na 20, 1,230,000. Again, pag asset, minus mo yan. Okay? Kay Y naman, 1.9 million minus loan to Y na 150. So write it down, 1,750,000 for partner Y. Okay? And then, doon naman tayo kay partner Z, 1 million minus, 1 million plus 50,000, 1,050,000. Okay? So now class, tignan natin yung total allocation to the partners. So isang allocation na lang gagawin ko, okay? Para efficient. Meron tayong revenues dyan na 4.8 million. Meron tayong expenses na 2,230. Okay? What else? Some non-cash assets were sold that resulted to a loss of 46,125. Meron tayong actual loss na 46,125, tama? And then may liquidation expenses tayo na 175,000. Okay? And then additional expenses na 90. So lagay natin dyan. Yung estimated liquidation expenses, 90,000. So class, sige nga, computing nga natin yung total yan, yung net amount yan, 4.8 minus 2,230 minus 46,125 minus 175 minus 90. I got here 2,258, 875. Okay, isang allocation na lang. Yan na lang i-allocate ko, positive. Okay, positive amount. Yung question dito, what is the book value of the non-cash assets which were sold for Y to receive 555,550. So, kakaiba yung tanong, no? Ano daw yung book value of the assets na binenta? Plus, punta ka dun sa second paragraph. Some non-cash assets were sold. Yung some non-cash assets na yun yung tanong sa atin. How much daw yung some non-cash assets? Got it? Okay. So, gagawin ko dyan, class. Allocate ko muna yan. Ayan. So, positive yan. 2, 2, 5, 8, 875. Multiply ko by 40%. Times 0.4, you have 903, 550. For partner X, 903, 550. For partner Y, 2258. 875 times 20%, 451, 775. Alright? So, computin natin yung balances. Si X, 1230 plus 903, 550. 2133, 550. For partner Y, 1750 plus 903, 550. 2653, 550. And then partner Z, 1,050,000 plus 451, 775, 1501, 775. Okay. Sabi dyan, what is the book value for Y to receive 555,550. Ganito gagawin ko dyan, class. Alam ko na yung cash na marireceive ng partners, equal yun sa ending capital balances nila. So, kung si Y, na-receive niya 555,550, it means yun yung ending capital balance niya. Therefore, may difference yan. 2653, 550 minus 555,550. This is 2,098,000. Class, ano yung 2,098,000? Yan yung loss. Okay? Yan yung maximum possible loss. Tama? Yan yung maximum possible loss na allocated to partner Y, right? Which represents 40% of the total loss. So, pag dinivide mo yan sa 40%, yung maximum possible loss natin is 5,245,000. Okay? Yung MPL mo, or maximum possible loss, is 5,245,000. Class, ano nga ba yung maximum possible loss na yan? Since na-consider na natin yung estimated liquidation expenses, ito, and wala namang cash withheld sa problem, ibig sabihin, equal yan sa remaining book value of non-cash assets. Does that make sense? Okay. So, class, yung total non-cash assets in the balance sheet, nakita nyo yung 7,375,000. Tama? Pwede natin i-break down into yan. Ito yung mga nabenta mo, sold, and yung mga unsold. Class, ano yung unsold? Ito, yung remaining book value of non-cash assets na 5,245. 5,245,000. Since ito yung total, ito yung unsold, yung difference sila, 7,375,000 minus 5,245,000, 2,130,000. Ito yung sold, ito yung nabenta mo. Okay? What is the book value of the non-cash assets which were sold for Y to receive 555,550? Answer, 2,130,000. Okay. Last item. Easy. So, natapos na tayo sa partnership. Alright, so last item na, class. So, hopefully, nakafollow kayo dun, ha? Pag na-follow nyo yun, I assure you, okay na. Master nyo na yung liquidation na yan. Sige, so last one. Additional exercises pa rin tayo, ha? Number 3. Okay, number 3. Tignan natin, ha? The statement of financial position of ABC partnership is provided below. Assets, cash, non-cash assets. Receivable from A, loan to C. Offset natin lahat yan. Liabilities and equity, loan from B. Offset natin yan. A, B, and C, and their P&L ratio. Okay. If 40,000 of the book value of the non-cash assets are sold for 18, additional expenses are incurred, cash withheld, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Tingnan natin. Laging ginagawa natin, partner A, B, and C. Lagay natin yung P&L, 15%, 55%, and 30%. Okay. So, si partner A, 33,000, merong receivable from A. Sabi ko, pag asset, ma-minus mo, 28,000 yung capital of A. Okay? Si partner B naman, 25,000, merong loan from B, add mo yung 6,000, you have 31,000. Si partner C, nakalagay dyan, 35,000, may loan to C, minus 4,000, 31,000 for partner C. Okay, so in-offset na natin. So, tignan natin, class. So, kung meron kang if 4,000, okay, if 40,000 of the book value of the assets are sold for 18, so ang gawin natin, so may cash na na-receive ka dito, 18, compare mo din sa total non-cash assets. Sa balance sheet, 95,000 yan. Tama? So it means, 18,000 minus 95,000, ito yung loss mo, 77. Sa 77, nandiyan na yung actual loss, nandiyan na rin yung maximum possible loss. Tama lang? Okay. So ito yung loss. And then, meron din tayong liquidation expenses, yung actual, which is 2,500, cash withheld, which is 5,400. Ayan. So, tingnan natin yung total cost. 77 plus 2,500 plus 5,400. You have 84,900. Okay? So, 84,900, ito yung total na i-allocate natin to the partners. Negative yan. Kasi loss, liquidation, and withheld, 84,900. Let's allocate that to the 3 partners. 84,900 times 15%. You have 12,735. Okay? 84,900 times 55%. 46,695. And then 84,900 times 30%, 25,470. Okay, so let's compute the capital balances. 28,000 minus 12,735. You have 15,265. Okay, for partner B, 31,000 minus 46,695. You have minus 15,695. And then for partner C, 31,000 minus 25,470, 5530. Okay, may negative si B. Sabi ni sir, pag silent, insolvent. So A and C have to absorb B. Yung matitira sa'yo dito class, 15% and 30. Total of 45. So ang gagawin ko dyan, kay partner A, 15,695 times 15 over 45, partner A absorbs 5232. Okay? So 15,695 times 30 over 45, partner C absorbs 10,463. 10,463. Okay. So 0 na si B. Si C naman, 5530 minus 10,463, negative 4,933. Okay? Si partner A, 15,265 minus 5,232, 10,033. Okay, negative si C. Okay mo i-allocate yan? Kay A or kay A and B? Ha? Ito negative. Allocate mo kay A or both A and B dapat? Kay A lang. Okay? Kasi pag in-allocate mo kay B, walang katapusang allocation yan. Mag-negative si B, allocate na naman kay A and C, walang katapusang allocation. Okay? So yung 4,983, allocate mo kay A lahat yan. 4,933. So 10, 3 minus 4,933. Okay, partner A receives 5,1. Partner A, 5,1. Partner B, 0. Partner C, 0. Answer, letter C, 5,100. During the first installment, the following data are relevant. 56,000 book value of the assets are sold for 38. Additional liquidation expenses of 12,000 are paid. All of the outside creditors are paid. If A received 11,000 during installment, how much is the cash withheld? So cash withheld yung tanong, pwede kong i-analyze yung cash. Meron kang 15,000 beginning, and then binenta for 38 yung 56,000 book value, binenta for 38. Additional liquidation expenses are paid, since bayad na siya, minus sa cash yan. Tama? Don't forget class na babayaran mo din yung creditors mo. Okay? Kasi may priority yan. Nakita mo yung liabilities sa balance sheet amounting to 20,000. Okay? And then, take note na si A naka-receive ng 11. So, may 11,000 dyan. How much yung cash withheld natin? 15,000. Parang similar question to dun sa isang item earlier. Tama? So, 15,000 plus 38,000 minus 12 minus 20 minus 11. Answer natin dito class is 10,000, letter B or boy. Okay. Yun. Okay, so let's finish this by answering our theory questions for partnership liquidation. Let's go to number 20. Theory number 20. A simple partnership liquidation. Class, pag sinabing simple, yun yung lump sum liquidation. A. Periodic payment to the creditors and partners determined by a safe payment, no? Installment liquidation yan. B. Partnership assets to be converted into cash with full payment made to all outside creditors before remaining cash is distributed in a lump sum payment. Boy, yung sagot natin for number 20. C. Only creditors to be paid. D. Periodic payments, no? So, installment liquidation yung D. Boy, yung sagot natin. The following is the priority sequence in which liquidation proceeds will be distributed to the partnership. Let's go to letter B or boy. So, ito yung order of priority. Una, partnership liabilities or partnership creditors. Second, partnership loans or yan yung mga inside or internal creditors. And then, partnership's capital balances, if may remaining cash pa. Number 12, what is the nature of liability of general partners? A, they are liable equally. B, they are liable pro rata, okay, up to the extent of their separate assets. C, they are liable pro rata up to the extent of their capital contribution. D, they are liable solidarily up to the extent of their assets after the partnership are exhausted. Let's go to letter boy, okay? They are liable pro rata up to the extent of their separate assets after the partnership assets are exhausted. This is the concept of unlimited liability, okay? Boy. X and Y are partners of XY partnership, which is undergoing liquidation. After XY's partnership's assets were realized and its liability settled, X's capital account has a negative balance. Which of the following is correct? Ito, negative balance. Y shall absorb X's capital deficiency if X is solvent. Mali yun. Kapag solvent, kayang mag-distribute ng cash. Okay? So, mali yung A. X shall make additional contribution if X is insolvent. Mali yun. If X is solvent. C. X and Y shall make a pro rata contributions to eliminate X's capital deficiency. No? Dog yung sagot. Y shall absorb X if X is insolvent. I-absorb mo lang if insolvent. Kapag solvent, kayang mag-contribute ng cash nun. If the problem is silent, insolvent yung assumption. Dog yung sagot for number 23. 24, if a partner with a debit balance, debit balance, negative balance, is solvent, let's go to A. Partner must invest additional cash in the partnership. Again, pag solvent, meron kang net personal assets, pwede mo i-contribute to the partnership. A is the answer for number 24. 25, in accounting for liquidation for partnership, cash payments to partners after all non-partner creditor claims have been satisfied, but before the final cash distribution should be according to. So class, pag sabing before final cash distribution, ibig sabihin, hindi pa tapos yung liquidation. Okay? Therefore, yung pwede mong ibayad to the partners, letter dog, safe payments computations. Okay? Yung may mga maximum possible loss and so on. Kasi hindi pa tapos yung liquidation eh. Okay? Letter D yung sagot natin dyan. Number 26. If a partnership has only non-cash assets, all liabilities have been properly disbursed, and no additional liquidation expense are expected, the maximum potential loss or the maximum possible loss, MPL, to the partnership in the liquidation process is, letter boy, book value of the non-cash assets. Hindi fair value, book value. So, i-assume natin hindi na mabebenta yung book value, remaining book value of non-cash assets, boy. In a simple partnership liquidation, the last remaining cash distribution should be made according to, class kapag last remaining cash distribution, according to P&L ratio. Okay? Answer is letter A, P&L agreement. So class, pag before matapos yung liquidation, okay, cash payments yung susundin, yung safe payments yung susundin mo. Kapag last distribution P&L ratio na. Okay? Number 28, if all partners are included in the first installment, then in future installments, if all partners are included in the first installment, ibig sabihin class, kung susundan mo yung cash distribution program natin, lahat daw nabigyan na ng payment sa first installment pa lang. So, as I explained earlier, once lahat ng partners naka-receive na sila ng distribution, moving forward sa mga subsequent distributions, P&L ratio na lagi. Okay? Very important. So, hopefully, naintindihan mo yun. Letter A yung sagot dyan. Cash will be distributed according to the residual P&L sharing ratio. Okay? Which partner is considered the most vulnerable as a result of a computation of vulnerability ranking? So, dito class, ang pinaka-vulnerable si partner C. Okay? Siya yung pinaka-prone to deficit or insolvency. Okay? Least vulnerable si B. Ano ba tanong dito? The partner with the most vulnerable. Okay? Letter A yung sagot dyan. The partner with the lowest vulnerability ranking who has the lowest, okay, potential, lowest loss absorption potential. Class, sa vulnerability ranking, yung number 1 yung highest, number 2 yung second highest, number 3 yung lowest. Okay? 1, 2, 3. Now, kaya A yung sagot. The partner with the lowest vulnerability ranking, number 3, who has the lowest loss absorption. Pinakamababa siya, 400,000. Okay? So, kaya, pag most vulnerable, A yung sagot mo dyan. Alright? Number 30, a partner's maximum loss or the maximum potential loss or possible loss or MPL is calculated by, hindi pala. Iba pala to. A partner's maximum loss absorbable. Ito pala yung ibig sabihin, class. Ito. Okay? Yun yun. Kasi yung maximum absorption loss potential yan. Okay? A partner's maximum loss absorbable is calculated by, tingnan natin yung choices. A, dividing the partner's capital balances by his or her P&L sharing percentage. Actually, yun yung sagot. Okay? Pag dinivide mo yan, yan yung maximum loss absorbable. Okay? So, ayan, letter A. Ayan, letter B, multiplying the partner's capital balance. Hindi. C, multiplying distributable assets, dividing by her percentage interest in capital. Nope. P&L ratio. So, class, A yung sagot for number 30. As you notice, parang all throughout yung partnership discussion natin, hindi tayo gumamit ng capital ratio. Okay? P&L ratio lagi ginagamit natin. So, distribution of income, gains and losses, kahit sa liquidation, P&L ratio pa din tayo. Kahit yung cash distributions, P&L ratio ginagamit natin. Alright? So, that's the end of our discussion for partnership. Next meeting, I think yung topic naman natin is corporate liquidation. Okay? See you next meeting.